Okay, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Fort Worth Realtor Talk Weekly. This is J.R. Hasloff. I am your host. It's another good week. It's a week of, what is the week? 18 June. I got another good one for you today. Actually, I want to talk about Facebook ads and how to use Facebook ads effectively in your real estate business. I think it's going to be a really interesting show that I have for you today. But before we get into that, tell you a little bit about what's going on with me. I am not driving in my car. I know you missed those 18-wheelers in the background and the honking traffic of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and I do apologize. I do not have that for you this week. Actually, I'm not even in the great state of Texas. I'm up here in Minnesota. The U.S. Navy has felt that I need to be up here at some conference. So I'm actually going to be recording this. Brought the microphone with me here in my super echoey hotel room at the Air Force Inns up here. And so up here in Minnesota, should be good. Hopefully I can get this episode knocked out before this really, really loud AC unit right next to me kicks on. One more thing before we get started, though, I want to talk about a great experience I had just this last week. One of my sailors retired after 20 years in the Navy. I think it was absolutely awesome. She asked me to be the presiding officer in that retirement ceremony. It was great. Flags, bells, swords, music, tears. I gave a speech. It was a really, really special event. We actually kind of turned it into a little bit of a roast. We passed the microphone around and had a lot of her family members and a lot of her old sailor brethren stand up and kind of roast her a bit. So thought that was really interesting. And I'm only in the Navy probably for another year or so before I retire myself. Got me thinking. Definitely gonna miss out on that brotherhood that we have, or that I've had for the past 19 years in the Navy. So that's really what's going on with me. Before we get started, my last appeal to you: please like, thumbs up, heart, share, follow, friend request, do whatever you got to do. Request that you do that, because that will help us with the show. Hold up, got a phone call coming in. She doesn't know that I am recording at the moment. So yeah, please, anything you can do to help out the show, we appreciate you. Reach out to me and let's discuss real estate here in the DFW metropolis, because that's why I'm doing the show. I want to reach out with you and I want to network with you. What are you doing in your practice? What I'm going to tell you today is what I'm about to start doing in my practice, and that is Facebook ads. So Facebook ads are kind of awesome. If you've never done Facebook ads, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but I will tell you, nothing that a 20-minute video that you can find on YouTube can't get you up and running really quick. So I first started doing Facebook ads a couple years back. One of the side hustles I did was something called drop shipping. It's basically you're doing extremely laser targeted, laser focused ads to people in hopes that you can get them to buy, impulse purchases. So you niche down into a very, very small niche. You offer them products, and it's through the Shopify platform, and you go through the Facebook ads, and it's incredibly powerful. Regardless of what you've heard in the news about Facebook and their ads and their privacy, their ads, network is extremely powerful with how you can laser focus down your ad campaigns. So if you're one of these real estate agents that does not like door knocking, this is probably something that will allow you to get exposure in your farm area. Now, it won't completely replace door knocking. If you're going to do an open house, you should still go, knock on the nearest 200 houses and hand out postcards. But what this can do is it can augment your postcard campaigns, and it can augment your door knocking campaigns, because basically they're seeing you in person. They're seeing you in their mailbox, and now they're seeing you on their screens. There was I forget the source. It was like Think with Google is a report, and it basically came out and said that consumers today, before they make a significant purchase decision, they need on average, it's like 12 or 13 touch points or 12 or 13 impressions, 12 or 13, bits of seeing you before they decide, yeah, I'm going to use this person to, help me with my purchase decision. If you can get these multiple impressions across multiple different advertising channels, that's going to be critical to growing awareness and mind sharing and making sure that you are on the tip of someone's mind as soon as they think, you know what? Let's see how much my house is worth. Let's see if we can sell this bad boy. So, just kind of give you like a really, really quick overview of kind of the three main components of Facebook ads. First and foremost is targeting, and it's the most important component, because basically if you don't target correctly, then it doesn't really matter what the other two components are. So targeting, I'm going to talk a lot about on this show today. The second big component is the campaign objectives. Are you just trying to get brand awareness? Are you just trying to get your face in people's mind? That's good. Are you trying to get lead generation? Are you trying to actually get people to come to your website and give you their information so that you can call them and follow up? That's great. Are you trying to get reach and engagement? Are you trying to get something that's funny and maybe get people sharing and it's kind of maybe turns into a little bit of viral? That's also good. That's the second component, is what is your objective? And then the third component of a Facebook ad is the ad itself, right? Are you going to give us a single image? Are you going to have a carousel with a lot of images? Are you going to do a video ad? And then at that point, what's the image you're going to use? And then what's the copy that you're going to write into it? And literally you can go on YouTube and how do I write a good Facebook copy? How do I write good copy? You could 10, 15 minutes later, they can great. I mean, I got pretty good at this, and I don't think I spent more than about half an hour. And then I would just run a bunch of ads and I'd split test between this and this. And it turns out this one's wildly more successful than this one. So I started learning to figure out what was the best parts of it. Okay, so let's talk about targeting specifically, because targeting is probably the most powerful part of Facebook ads. And there's actually three different areas of kind of Facebook ad targeting. The first one is interests. I can target what people are interested in. If I want to target people who are interested in survivalism or survivalist magazines or the wide outdoors or camping, I can do that. Or I can find people who are interested in CrossFit or people who are interested in yoga. So interests is the first one, and that's based on which pages have they liked and which topics do they follow and what are they writing about a lot. That's your first big area of Facebook targeting, is their interests. The second one, which is probably the most powerful for you as a real estate agent, is the behaviors. And this is basically, it's based on their past purchases or their intent to purchase. So there's actually a behavior that Facebook has, and it's called people looking to buy a home. In their amazing algorithm, they've found a very specific behavioral category for people. And they've been very good at saying, hey, these are potential buyers or potential sellers. And that specifically is called likely to move. Likely to move. So if you're looking for that behavior when you set up, look for that one, likely to move. That's going to be even more of a laser focused targeting. And that's the whole point, is you want to make sure if you're going to spend 15 cents to get these in front of the right people, I want to get it into the likely to move people, not just everyone in a zip code. The next one is demographics. This includes the age, the income, do they have kids, not kids, parents living at home? What's their job title? Do they own or rent their current home? There's hundreds of other options of the demographics. And basically what it looks like, and I've got the Facebook ad here on my screen, I can look at my location. So if I want 76135 and maybe I'll go out to like Azle and over to Weatherford, I can get those specific geographic segmentations. I put those in. Then it asks me for age demographics. Typically, I'll probably start at 24 to 65. I wouldn't do 17, right? Because I'm not going to get a lot of legitimate 17-year-olds who are really interested in buying or selling a home. And then I can look at job titles. You can look at job titles such as if I really wanted to appeal to my mortgage industry, I put mortgage banker, mortgage broker, mortgage owner, mortgage processor, mortgage closer, Wells Fargo home mortgage agent, mortgages. So you can put a whole bunch of different job titles in there. If I was going to make an ad in which I am hoping to get mortgage professionals to give me leads. And then as I start putting in all of these demographics and job titles and locations and age or whatever, it has this little kind of like it's like a tachometer or a speedometer in your car. It tells you if it's a very specific or a very, very broad. And then as you start putting in more limitations, it'll tell you what your potential reach is. If you're going to be doing this locally, then what I would do is try to get that potential reach to be about 2,000 to 3,000 people. Typically it's 100 to 200,000 people when I was doing nationwide campaigns. But because I only want to sell houses in one zip code or maybe two zip codes, I'd like that to be in about the 2,000 to 3,000 potential reach. So how does this actually work? So suppose you're a realtor in Lake Worth, and I am, and you specialize in areas, around Lake Worth, Azle, Aledo, Weatherford. But I also want to focus on, upper to middle income neighborhoods. Let's say household incomes above, say, 150,000 a year. So I'll pull all the zip codes into Facebook. I'll put in that household income filter, and maybe I find that in those areas of Facebook with my age demographics, there's 22,000 people that I can reach on Facebook. Okay, that's fine. But when I start adding in the behavior likely to move, that actually might narrow that target down to about 6,000 people. Well, that's good. And there's a couple other ones here. If I wanted to put in like first time home buyers, I could. It's under demographics, it's under home, and it's under home ownership. And I can actually say, give me all people who are possibly first time home buyers, right? So yes, Facebook has this as a targeting option. And maybe when I add that in, I'm going to run an ad that says, hey, would you like a first-time homebuyer resource for free, right? So I'm going to give them a first-time homebuyer guide. I'm going to walk them through the entire home buying process. As long as, it's going to be free for them as long as they give me their contact information. That's a possibility. And then as I kind of get these targeting options, as I add them in, what I might find is, instead of 6,000, I'm down to about 2,200 people. Okay, so those are 2,200 people that are getting my free first-time homebuyer resource. And that's what I would do. I would do a campaign just for first-time homebuyers. I would do another campaign just for listing. If I'm trying to get listings, give people a CMA, a comparative market analysis on their home. You can also do detailed targeting. You can tell Facebook, hey, give me all the people who are currently active and browsing Realtor.com or Zillow or Redfin or Trulia, right? So you actually go in there and say, include only those in the audience that match at least one of the below. And then you put in Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, right? So people who are actually browsing these sites, they're actively searching for homes. So you can put this layer in, as well as all your other interests and behaviors, and these people are highly likely to be pre-qualified leads because they're actively looking for homes on these sites. So let's talk a little bit about, there goes the AC. Didn't make it. I've gotten a little long-winded tonight, and I apologize. So let's talk about what are some different strategies that I can use Facebook ads for sellers. And we're going to start with sellers because listings are manna from the real estate gods. We love listings. So basically, if I was going to get a bunch of sellers that I wanted to let me list their houses for sale, I would probably start off with a little bit of copy like, hey, what's your home really worth, right? And you're going to get some people who just kind of, I'm not really interested in selling my house, but I kind of want to know, they just want to kick the tires and have this guy do a comparative market analysis for me. You will get some of those colder leads, but you'll also get some warmer leads. And people are saying, I'd sell my house if I knew I could get X, Y, and Z profit out of it, and then I could go move with the in-laws or whatever. So with them, I'm trying to get, hey, what's your home really worth? I might throw in there, the Azle market is up 12%. This is great news for sellers like you, right? That would be some of my copy for that. You can also leverage the customer's neighbor. So think of it this way. When it comes to value in our homes, what are we really looking for? When we see that house down the street that's going on sale, man, we hope that thing sells for a lot, right? I currently have one right up the street from me, about 4 doors down. It's completely overpriced where it is, but guess what? I kind of hope it sells at that really overpriced, right? Because that increases the value of my house. So by kind of appealing to the audience and saying, hey, this is kind of social proof. I'm going to use their neighbor's house to address, the customer's pain point of being undersold. So maybe I would show a picture of the house in their neighborhood that I sold, and just say, hey, I sold your neighbor's house for $420,000. That's great news for your home value, right? And I'm going to specifically market this bad boy to only people in a certain neighborhood. Maybe I'll put it even on there. Hey, sold in 12 days, right? And then when they click on that ad, they come to my website, and then I offer them a CMA to possibly get them as a lead. So how do we do that? How do we kind of set up some of these ads for our buyers? One of my great friends, Jerry down in Houston, who actually sent me a referral. Love you, Jerry. She had a great ad that I saw. It basically says, for buyers, I've compiled a list of every open house this weekend. Don't waste time, driving, find the list here, right? And then they click on that ad, and it sends them to a landing page where she asks for their name, address, number, and then a little ticker box that says, how soon are you planning to move? Right? As soon as possible, 1 month, 3 month, 5 months, 7 months. So she can also kind of pre-qualify how good of a lead that person is. And then it's really just manipulating the MLS, right? You give a start date and a stop date and all open houses within, either a point or a neighborhood or a zip code. And that's what you're sending them. Right. You can also create an ad that says, hey, I compiled a list of every Lake Worth house on the market. Click to receive this report with weekly updates, right? Because the MLS allows us to just spam hey, set up this filter. That's what you want. You're going to get that every single week. And that'll allow you to stay on the top of their minds. We talked about targeting first-time homebuyers and giving them a free resource like a Lake Worth home buying guide or a step-by-step walkthrough of what they can expect, when buying their first house. That's always a good idea. What else do I want to talk about? So now I just got a couple of good ideas, like things that if you're going to be marketing through Facebook, that you should kind of keep in mind. But those are some of my ideas for how to market to a seller. That's pretty easy. Give them CMAs, show them what's local, and try to get them in the door that way. As far as buyers, you always want to come from a position of contribution. You want to give them something, or give them. If someone's going to give you their email address, they should be getting a product of some kind. So some really good ideas that you should kind of keep in mind no matter what kind of ads you're running is, first off, you want compelling images. People are just scrolling. In order for you to get that impression, for them to stop and get more than 3 seconds of their mind, what you want to do is have really, really compelling images. And it doesn't have to be, even the picture of the house, right? One good compelling image is a picture of Lake Worth, and you have all those houses for sale. It has all the little bubbles with all the prices in there. It's something you would see on Trulia or Redfin, right? For attention purposes, this can be used for buyers or sellers, because I could write some copy that says, thinking of selling your home? Now's the time. Take advantage of a low inventory in your area. So, learn what you could sell for today. And same thing with buyers. Are you actively looking for a home, right? I know the guy who sees this ad is actively looking for a home because I've got good targeting on my Facebook ad. But that's what I'll write in the copy. I'll be like, currently looking for a home? Let us help you. And then you can kind of give them whatever your free resource is. That's a great way to do it. I talked last week about, man, you should have video for everything. Another thing you can do is market your listings through Facebook ads. If you've already done a walkthrough video, send that to every single person within that neighborhood, right? We always say that we want to do door knocking for the closest 200 houses for every open house that we have. Why don't you do that through Facebook? We talked about that video. Get that video out there, and a lot of neighbors will be able to see that using Facebook ads targeting. Some other things, I typically won't put the price of the house. If I'm marketing a specific house, I'm not going to put the price of the house in the ad, because as people are kind of just going through the Facebook there and they're swiping and they're swiping, if they see it, and let's say the house is $400,000, if it's out of their price range, they'll just keep going, right? I want that curiosity, like, oh, wow, this house is a beauty. I want them to click on that ad. Right? Yeah, maybe when they get to the landing page, they'll realize it's out of their element. But I've also got all these other houses that are for sale on the website. So at least I want to get them to the website with a possibility of converting them into a lead. Another thing about Facebook ads. So you can market back to all the people. If you've been doing it for a while, I can actually tell Facebook to create an audience based on everyone who's clicked my ads. So let's say I've been doing this for a little bit, and I've got my little farm area that I've been marketing to on Facebook. I can do another branding one and send it to everybody who's ever clicked on one of my ads. And I can write copy saying, hey, remember me? I'd love to be your real estate agent. Facebook can also create a copycat audience, right? So every single person who's come and touched one of my ads and actually maybe gone to the link or given me a comment or shared it, it will take all of those people and it'll say, what is this, what do all these people have in common? And it'll create a copycat audience of the type of people that would click on your ad. Always do this because Facebook has just so much information. It's better at you than targeting. Always let Facebook do that. And then do split testing. Try your way and try Facebook's way. And then tell me which one was more successful. I always found that the copycat audience for Facebook would net me great returns. Next thing is video ads are great. You're always going to get more interaction from video ads because people are lazy and they don't want to read. And more interaction, whether it's more likes or more comments or more shares or more reactions, that's going to increase your reach. Because sometimes you see when your mom thumbs up a video on Facebook, it comes up on your feed. That's good. That's what we call free reach, right? You're not paying Facebook to get it. To get mom's likes onto other people's timelines. That's free reach. Okay, I think that's all I've got. What I'd like to do is I'd like to know, are you doing Facebook ads? What are some of your ideas that you are throwing together? How are you marketing to people? What kind of free resources or what kind of contribution are you getting in order to get people to trust you enough to actually get your email address? I'd love for you to give us a call. You can do that through the Anchor.fm app, or you can just shoot me an email at jrhasloff@kw.com. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, as far as the podcasts go, please follow, please thumbs up, give us a like, give us a heart, give us a share, give us a signal flare, give us whatever you can, and we will absolutely appreciate that. And if you do that, I will be back next week. Don't think there's anything else. I thought there's one more thing that I'd love to talk to about tonight, but I think we're going to close it there. Okay, if you do all that for me, I will be back next week. Until then, peace out.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.